Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf, where we are now looking at the story of another Pineleaf some 3,000 years ago that participated in the last alliance. So let's find out what's happening in this little story.
You there! Listen to me, for this is urgent.
This matter is urgent and cannot wait. You may be one of those hole dwellers, but while you are here in Dingarth, you need to do what I say. I am sure your chieftain will agree, so don't let me hear any complaint. Good grief. Well, I'm in the army now, apparently.
King Isildur plans to return to Dingarth in order to inspect the defenses.
I have been informed that King Isildur of Gondor plans to return to Dingarth in order to inspect the defenses. As the master of fortifications, the responsibility falls to me to ensure that the king is satisfied by the state of them. But that is no easy task, for Dingarth was the first encampment we constructed after the Alliance pushed through the ruins of the gate, 7 years gone. It has been repeatedly assailed by the forces of Sauron and rebuilt anew following the worst of the assaults. Isildur rules Gondor with his brother Anorion, at the behest of their father, the High King, and there is no end of the worries upon which they must dwell as the siege drags on. King Isildur will not trouble to return to Dingarth if he thought our business here was unimportant. He must know, as I do, that if the forward positions of the Alliance are pushed back, Dingarth will become our only foothold to the Black Land. To face defeat after such a cost of lives and years would be impossible to bear. So, I ask you to gather wood and stone from around Dingarth and patch up the fortification. You think I'm tall enough to do that? You will impress King Isildur with the sweat of your brow, and I shall impress him with my foresight and my leadership. Right. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah, yes. Look to for resting soldiers and get them moving. To see such sluggards lazing around would surely offend the king's eyes. Go then and see these tasks done. All right. One more time. Well, see, quest givers haven't changed in 3,000 years. Now, where were we? Let's see. Ah, we have a dwarf. Oh, so it looks like we have quest givers all over the place, too.
King Amrath has sent a list of various items needed at the encampment.
The name of is Skirfir, and I keep track of supplies here in Dingarth. It keeps me busy enough. King Amrath has sent a list of various items needed at the encampment of Echad in Ithil. If you are heading that way, perhaps you could take them with you, and if not, well, I can find someone else, but I will not be happy about it. I know you are going that way. If not today, then tomorrow. Look, do me a favor, will you? I can show you where to look to find everything that Amroth needs. Well, the fish is still cold. Alright, now, where were we? Yeah. Alright, now let's see. What have we got around here? We've got several people gathered around a fire, and of course, more supply. Oh, these are the supplies to be taken eventually to King Ar. A lot of kings around here. King Isildur, High King Elinda, King Amroth, and I'm sure a few others that I have been completely neglecting. And this is Círdan the Shipwright. Yeah, has to be Círdan the Shipwright. How many bearded elves do you run into? Let's see, what do we got here? We've got a stark white page. You're kidding me. 27 pages all over the place. I'll never be able to gather all of these. Hmm.
They sought to discourage him, but he would not be daunted. And so, though it pained them, Elrond and Círdan both came forward.
Círdan and well, there is one half the pair. Where's Elrond? In his library or something like that? Well, I suppose he didn't build a library here in Mordor just so that he could have a place to go to. I suppose Rivendell probably didn't even exist at this time. Oh, here's Círdan, the shipwright.
Listen well, soldier.
I have known war, but I am not a warrior. No, I have always been and always will be a builder and a sailor of ships. And yet, the call to war must be heeded. So I brought the Great Alliance my skills as a healer and a bringer of wisdom. I have seen more injured soldiers of late, a greater number than I am accustomed to treating at once. You have some skill tending to the wounded? Oh, that's good. I ask that you collect some salves and see to the injured soldiers. Your assistance will be greatly appreciated by both the healers and healed alike. Well, at least he's not talking to you in a way that wants me just to bring out a cold fish. Let's get a few more supplies. And oh yes, I also still need to find others around here. The wood and the stone. And of course, speak to a few resting soldiers. Because we're not allowed to have people rest, right? No, of course not. Ah, here's a salve right here. One salve. Now we just need a few more of these things and set. And it looks like we have, well, another salve. Good. I suppose I'm going to have to speak with the bearer of the ring, so to speak. And this is Otar, the Esquire of Isildur.
A task for you, soldier.
This is embarrassing, friend. The siege has dragged on for so long that Dingarth is no longer in the center of the fighting. The war continues further to the east. We have seen fewer and fewer soldiers within these walls, but ours is still a strategic fortification and must be occupied. The attention of the commanders lies elsewhere, however, and some small things have been neglected. What are these small things? Well, some of those provisions have spoiled, and the meat we kept here in Dingarth has rotted. We don't need for our soldiers to be sickened by turned meat. No, go and search provisions for any which has gone bad and dispose of them. Well, usually you send hobbits to dispose of goods just before they turn bad, right? Well, in any case, I suppose that's a reasonable request, so make sure that we don't have a few more of them sent to the sick calls, right? Yeah, I know. Time to get up. Sorry. I know you're on break, but apparently we can't have resting soldiers in this place because we're in the army now. Alright, let's get rid of these. And hello. Break over. Days became months and then years. What's the hurry? Oh. Hello. Let's Well, I found the Hobbit camp. Whoa, hold on that. How did provisions next to a Hobbit camp stay in place long enough to spoil? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe it was one of Holly Hornblower's pies. Yes, I know. Holly Hornblower won't be alive for another 3,000 years, but that's all I could think of on there. Alright, well, at least that was our first patch of wood. I was almost afraid that it was going to be raw timber that I was going to be looking for. I was wondering, how in the world are you going to patch things up with raw timber? But no, not quite that bad. Ah, more wood. And let's see what this quest giver has to say. Hello there.
The conflict seems without end.
The march from Dingarth to Annabelle has become a sad one, and my eyes well up just to think on. The bodies of our friends and fellow soldiers are strewn about the battlefield, for none have taken the time to give them a proper burial. What haste can there be when our siege has lasted for so long and shows no sign of stopping? We must honor them and show that they are remembered and died not in vain. The war has taken its toll, and we keep fighting. Let us give them a proper burial. We must take the time for that at least, or we're no better than the orcs. So we need to bury bodies of slain warriors in Arendor, though I'm not going out there quite yet. I will take that task as soon as I head out to that area. Is there any place else where I need to? Because I still haven't found the stones. Oh. Oh, what timing for that. Oh, the last of the salves. Good. And that means I need to, oh yes, heal a few people. Good. Oh, lots of soldiers need healing. Lots of them. How was I supposed to tell the difference between a soldier that was in need of healing and was sitting down and one that was just resting? I don't know. But I was supposed to scold one group and heal the other. Oh, yes, that is a bit of food that we need to clear out. Ah, more stone. And more wood. That means we're almost have enough of this. We got some boards. I don't know why there's boards lying around. Maybe it was seasoning or something like that. And where are... Oh. Oh, I only needed 2. Alright, fine, only 2 with the stone. Alright. Wall awaiting repair. Let's see how good of a job I did. Well, I suppose that's the best I can do. I think what we really could use is a proper houses of healing so that we know where all the wounded soldiers are located and that they could rest more easily. But apparently we are far from Minas Tirith right now, or Minas, I guess we called Minas Honor these days. Actually, I think Minas Honor was built after this war, most likely. I suppose that if he doesn't like my repairs, then he will have to go and get somebody taller to perform them, right? Well, let's get back to Mr. Ontomo.
You improved the defenses. Good. Good, and just in time.
I have received word that a patrol of orcs has been spotted in the south, leaving the encampment of Mokshapat. If we don't do something about them, and at once, King Isildur would be most aggrieved. Your work here is not yet done. Hurry to the south and slay the orc band before the king comes to Dingarth. Orc raiding parties remained a threat, even years after the siege began. Right, now, anything else I need to do here before I go out and take care of that raiding party? I think they're feeling better now.
I will guide you to victory.
Did your skills at healing prove up to the challenge, and the wounded begin to recover? Good, good. I'm glad to hear their injuries fade and their spirits improve. Let not this gift of yours go to waste during the years of the siege. Yes. There we go. And, well, that's our first quest actually completed. Well, new deed. Quests of Mordor Besieged. How many of these are there? We've got... Oh, that's... I don't know. Oh, Mordor. Mordor Besieged. That's Gorgoroth. Imlad Mordor. Explorer Mordor. Quest of Mordor Besieged. We get 50 of them! And that's just in the besieged area. There'll be a lot more that are going to be in other places afterwards. But we actually get to Minas Morgul and all. Ah. Last bit of spoiled food to take care of. I think we're supposed to speak to the dwarf next, right? And I think after that we can head out. Oh yes, Otar is the one who asked me to get rid of the provisions.
I have orders for you, soldier.
You're sure that you disposed of all the spoiled food? Good! Good! I understand that orcs have been known to feast on spoiled and rotten meat, but that is not something Isildur will allow for his soldiers to do, and as his esquire, I have taken upon myself to see that they do not have to do so. That was a lot of spoiled food, friend. Do you have any provisions at all left in Dingarth? We will need to do something about that. Something tells me I'm about to go on a hunting expedition, and I mean hunting something other than orcs.
I have orders for you, soldier.
Yes, our stores of provisions is now quite low, and we will need additional food here at Dingarth as well as on the front line. In order to meet these demands, we must hunt for food, but the small animals of Gondor and Ithilien are not large enough to provide enough meat for our armies. We need an animal with more meat on its bones, and the great beast that is the Sulok of Mordor will provide the nourishment our soldiers require. Go forth and hunt the Sulakil in the king's lands of Arendor. Alright, fine. Hunt orcs and hunt Sulok. Gotcha. We just had to remember that we are to be eating the Sulok and that we are supposed to be getting rid of the orcs. Now I just need to find them around here somewhere, and of course I'll need to bury those bodies that may be... Oh, hold on here. It looks like I found one of the Sulok. Right, I'm gonna bring this thing down all by myself. Well, I really throw a javelin quite a distance. Hello? First combat first combat of the story, I guess you could say. Probably not the last. I'm sure this will unlock some sort of deed, right? New deed. Battles of the Great Alliance. Right. Learn of the many battles fought by the Great Alliance. 1 of 100. Ooh, I get a level 121 incomparable enhancement rune for that. I could really use it to be a tracery, but that's an entirely different matter. Oh, wargs. Well, there aren't any quests for killing wargs, but I suppose I will need to kill a few of these if I am going to survive this little confrontation. There you go. but mainly need Sulakil and orcs. Kill Sulakil. Oh boy, I have absolutely no idea why the plural form had to have a bit in common with the word for slay. Oh, look, I am really a bit out of my area here, aren't I? I know you don't want to be distracted by killing beasts and wargs and stone claws when I should be looking for orcs and Sulakil. And I suppose an occasional body that needs to be buried. I must say, he hasn't been here for very long, if he hasn't been picked clean by the crows and the like by now. So perhaps we can get to some of these in time. Ah, the first orc of our story. For what story in Lotro be complete without the slaying of a few orcs here and there? Especially when this includes a quest to kill 6 of them? Here's the first of a half dozen of what I'm sure to be even more dozens later on as we continue on with the story. Alright, here we go. Wait, Mordor looked a lot different back in 3,000 years ago. I mean, grass, bushes, trees. I suppose in 3,000 years, this place could turn into a complete and utter wasteland because 3,000 years, a lot can change in that amount of time. Mordor certainly has. So I suppose if you got 3,000 years with, well, I was about to say with Sauron ruling it, but then Sauron was absent for quite a bit of that time. So I guess how much of the damage done to Mordor was done over what periods of time during... I suppose that once the Witch King got in control of Mordor and was probably ruling it, so the last 1,000 years is probably where most of the damage was probably done, I would guess. Though I would say that there were parts of Mordor where I suppose where the evil powers were in some parts of it, but the Gondorians held the fringes. I suppose that the interior could have had a great deal of damage done to it during those days also. But 1,000 years is certainly enough time in which to really destroy much of the land, I suppose. What is this? Ithilskarn. Alright, fine. And I'm seeing a ring. Is that a ring wraith up there? Yes, that is most definitely a ring wraith. Let's stay away from the ring wraiths. Ah, more orcs. They're all over the place. And we will have to deal with them before we are able to break this siege and get rid of Sauron. What's the sound coming from the south? I think I better go investigate. Ah, I see the source of the noises. And apparently an elf was killing some orcs. I guess that's nothing unusual in this place. Hello there.
I am afraid you have come too late to join the festivities, friend.
No problem. I was having my own festivities. Well then, it looks like that we have found an elf. I am afraid that you have come too late to join the festivities. These orcs thought to do some mischief to the Alliance, but they were neither stealthy nor clever enough to escape my notice. They felt the bite of my blade, as did not like it. Oh, they didn't like it, alright. I am called Magodir. Alright, we're been waiting to get to him in the story, I guess. And my sword is Orthadel, the Rising Star. I wield it at the command of Gilgalad, and it has proven the undoing of orcs and evil men for the long years of the siege. I hope you do not thank me forward, but I have not met one of your kind before. It is a welcome meeting, for I have heard of the valor of the whole Moodland, who live along the banks of the great river, and cannot be measured by their stature. I am pleased to make your acquaintance, and it is my hope that you will name me a friend. Alright, well, it's nice to see that he's friendly in there. Yes, my errand today was to scout the southern reaches and report discovery of anything suspicious, but if I suspect anything now, it is that these orcs should have known better than to come this far west. Even after these long years of siege, they still test the encampments of both men and elves, probing for weaknesses. If they think that we will relax our guard, they're mistaken, and we will prove it ever so. You came today from Dingarth? Oh, return there now and relay word of this orc raiding party to whichever leader there has the command. These orcs have come to the end of their raiding days and will trouble us no further. Alright, well, I will speak to Ultimo and I'm sure give him plenty of fish laps. And we'll do that in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.